Good morning, everyone. I am Gordon McCauley, President and CEO of adMare BioInnovations, and allow me to welcome you here today on behalf of my colleagues at adMare and all of our partners throughout the Canadian life sciences ecosystem. Today marks a significant moment for Canada's life sciences and biomanufacturing ecosystem domestically and globally. Allow me to begin by saying that in Vancouver, we are gathered on the traditional unceded territory of the Musqueam people. In Montreal, we are gathered on the traditional and unceded territory of the Kanikahake Nation. And we invite those who are joining us virtually to take a moment to reflect on the ancestral peoples and their land in your respective regions. We pay respect to our continued connections with the past, present, and future in our ongoing relationships with Indigenous and other peoples within these communities and across Canada. Nous sommes ici aujourd'hui pour accueillir un invité spécial et très distingué, l'honorable François-Philippe Champagne, ministre de l'Innovation, des Sciences et de l'Industrie, qui fera une annonce concernant la stratégie des sciences de la vie et de la biofabrication au Canada. Minister, bienvenue chez adMare. To begin our proceedings, let me welcome the Member of Parliament for Steveston, Richmond East, Mr. Parm Bains, to introduce the Minister formally.
Thank you for that. And good morning, everyone. Before I begin, much like earlier, I want to recognize that we are very fortunate to gather here and to be able to live, work, and play on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Coast Salish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations. I'm very excited today. We have our Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry joining us in our beautiful province here in British Columbia to make an announcement about the future of research and development here. BC is home to the fastest growing research and innovation in Canada, with many of our companies earning international recognition for their work. Thank you to everyone who made today's event and announcement possible. Your dedication and hard work has not gone unnoticed by our government. Now, it is my privilege to welcome my colleague, a longtime supporter of science and innovation, and a passionate advocate for our science and innovation sector in BC, the Honourable François-Philippe Champagne, Minister for Innovation, Science and Industry. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What a great day. I was coming on the campus and say, God knows what would have happened if I studied at UBC, you know? Just watching the campus, the golf course nearby and everything. Wow, what a scenery and what a place to be. And so many amazing people. I must say, I've spent the week in BC. We arrive on Sunday, and every opportunity has been great to meet. I was with SUPH meeting innovative companies with a number of colleagues. We had a Prime Minister here at Globe. But I must say, today is a very special moment. You know, I was coming here and I say, when I do these announcements, Gordon, I'm always feeling that I'm surrounded by overachievers. You know, you feel you're in the elevator and you say, look at these people, what they have achieved. And there's something special in British Columbia. And I must say, certainly at UBC and the Economic Roundtable and all of the things, I just want to say before I start, because I've not even started yet, imagine, about the enthusiasm and passion. This is the single largest investment we've done in the ecosystem for life sciences in Canada. You've seen that we've done a number of things since we arrived, and certainly as I arrived as Minister of Industry, understanding that we're facing one of the largest crises in human history, at least in this century, of COVID-19, and rebuild something that we had lost over a number of decades. And I'm so proud to see that now today in BC, in UBC, in Vancouver, we're going to be announcing the largest single investment in the ecosystem. So with that, I would say bonjour tout le monde. You can see the enthusiasm that we have, that I have this morning. because this is all about seizing the moment. Some of you have heard me always finish by saying, seize the moment, be ambitious. And today, this is really about making Canada a global leader in life sciences. And certainly, I'm very, very pleased. Parm, always a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for your kind word, introduction, leadership. Great to see you in Vancouver. And thanks for your leadership and certainly being a strong voice for the people of the region. And, I saw you in action yesterday with the Prime Minister, and I see you this morning. I understand why people put their trust in you, my friend, because certainly you bring the voice of everyone here in Ottawa. I also want to say a warm welcome to Wilson Miao, which is with us from Richmond Centre. Another strong voice, a new colleague. I'm so happy to be in your neck of the wood this time. We spend most of the week together. A strong voice that is bringing the views and the leadership. If I'm here today, it's not by accident, trust me. And I want to recognize Talib. Talib, my dear friend. Talib, what a great leader. Someone who's been an entrepreneur turned politician and someone who understands what it takes to succeed. And I must say their voice, when they speak, I would say when Parm speak, when Wilson speak, and when Talib speak, Ottawa listen. And that's a good reason why I'm here this morning. They made sure that every step of the way we would surely make that if there's something special in BC and in Vancouver is the life sciences sector. And I must say colleagues have been coming to me regularly to remind me that we need to invest, we need to develop, and we need to think big. And with colleagues like that, we can have an announcement like this morning. And Gordon, good to see you, sir. I see you almost everywhere I go, I feel. I saw you this morning. I said, when is the last time I saw you? I'm aging a bit, so I'm like, when is the last time I saw this? But I see you everywhere. You seem to be everywhere. You've created adMare, and what a great thing between Montreal and Vancouver and bring these two cities together. And I'd like to say a special welcome to the entire adMare BioInnovation team for hosting us today. I had the privilege to meeting many of you. I know it's a big day for the team. And I want to say to everyone here, it's really thanks to your talent, your expertise and know-how and excellence that we can have a announcement like we have this morning. So I'd like to give you a big round of applause because you're really... I may be on the stage with Gordon, but I'm reminded that it's thanks to your work at adMare and everyone that I see in the back. I see your smile behind the mask. It's thanks to you that we can have an important announcement like that for the biomanufacturing and I would say the life sciences sector and particularly the ecosystem. We'll have a chance to talk about Dr. Subramaniam, which is the CEO of Gandiva Therapeutics. Where are you, doctor? I was with you in the elevator. Another great leader, I think we have Véronique Lecault, which is going to be with us from Epsilora. I don't know if Véronique is with us already, Gordon. We have Tariq, which has been inspiring a number of people to join. And I think we have Dr. Azizi, which is going to be with us today as well. So just a warm welcome. Listen, obviously exciting news today. You would probably recall that when most Canadians think about life sciences in our country, they think back to things like the discovery of insulin, which obviously Canada was at the forefront, a real key Canadian innovation that have been improving the lives of millions of diabetics around the world. And when I was coming here this morning and reflecting on our place in history, I say maybe today we're marking history about what the future will be, where is the next big discovery is going to come from. And many of us sometimes are not aware that Canadians, and particularly here in Vancouver, I must say, that's why I'm so proud when I come here, because every time I'm inspired by people who have done great things. And some people have made in this city incredible strides over the years, including having instrumental roles in the discovery related to polio, to the Ebola vaccines and HIV. And I can think of Epsilora, Precision Nanosystems, Sue is with me. I mean, how many, the list goes on of people who have come out and have been part of this ecosystem that has been very special here in Vancouver. Évidemment, les innovations qui ont été développées par nos collègues ont sauvé des millions de vies et sont d'excellents exemples de la longue histoire du Canada dans les sciences de la vie. So as we look to the future, there's no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure that folks here would agree at adMare that Canada has the talent, certainly, because I think talent is the most distinctive factor. I was with Talib yesterday, meeting with people from the community, and I was saying, they said, what is the most important thing to attract investment in our country? And I always go back to talent. It's not capital, it's the people. It's the people who make the difference. And certainly the ecosystem we've built here, that was part of the economic strategy roundtable, people focusing on talent. And obviously when you talk about talent, talk about excellence, well, you talk about UBC. And certainly this is good because not only we have the talent, but I think this city, and I can tell you I'm talking to a number of investors. Now, I have to come back, so I can't tell you the news already because I want to come back. But there's other investors which are looking to invest even more significantly in the ecosystem here in British Columbia and in Vancouver in particular, but also what we're building today. And I think that's the great success of adMare is the ecosystem. What people want is talent. The second thing they want is an ecosystem. And I would say thirdly, a customer. But certainly the ecosystem plays a big part in making sure that we can attract some of the best and be a global manufacturing hub. So that's why I'm really committed with you to build back the sector as it used to be, because Canada has always played a very important role in global health. And in order to do so, you may have seen, some of you, that we have launched a biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy, which was really designed to ensure that we would have an announcement like this morning, that we would be helping to grow a strong and I would say very competitive life sciences sector in Canada with cutting-edge biomanufacturing capabilities to ensure that the businesses, and I think that's what is nice with adMare, it's a combination of the academia, the companies, and also the scientists, the researcher, the post-secondary institution that we're bringing together to make sure that we would have the success, that the next discovery, that the world will be looking at Canada for the next discovery. And certainly we want to do our part to advance these discovery, whether it's in vaccines or therapeutics, and we want to make sure that people like those at adMare can really position Canada to respond to future health crisis. You may have heard me in media sometime, I say we did not choose the time of the pandemic. We're certainly not going to choose whether or not there's going to be another pandemic, but as a nation, we can choose to be better prepared. We can choose to make sure that we will be there to protect the health and safety of Canadians. And I think this morning is a great example of that, because the seeds we're planting this morning will probably, when we look back, perhaps decades from now, we'll look back and say, thanks to what we did at adMare in one of the single most important investments we've ever done to build an ecosystem is bringing fruits, and we can protect people. Listen, I've exceeded by long the time that I had to even come to the announcement, which I'm going to be doing now, that adMare will be receiving $92 million to help prepare Canada for future pandemics and health emergencies. I would say this is great news for the professional at adMare, and I see you smiling again in the back. It's certainly great news for Vancouver and the region in terms of building this ecosystem. And I think it's really just good news for the life sciences sector at large, whether it's in BC, in the rest of Canada, and certainly also in Montreal, where you have your other facility. This will help to expand and advance the training program that really focused, thanks to you, Gordon, and the team, on making sure that we develop life sciences research and professional, as well as helping companies to scale, which we want. Donc, évidemment, l'investissement qu'on fait aujourd'hui va favoriser la prochaine génération de professionnels hautement qualifiés, parce qu'on jette aujourd'hui les bases d'un Canada qui sera un leader dans les sciences de la vie. Et évidemment, ça commence aujourd'hui avec adMare, déjà qui fait un travail depuis plusieurs décennies, non seulement ici à Vancouver, mais à travers le pays. So with that, I would say, listen, this is a great day for all of us. I would say in conclusion, let's seize the moment. Let's be ambitious, and let's make sure that together we will build Canada as a global leader in life sciences. I think this is great news for the region, great news for students and researchers, and great news for our nation. With that, merci, mesdames et messieurs.
I wasn't going to tell you this story, Minister, but one of the fun parts about being a tenant on a university campus is that you get to interact with students all of the time. And when I came in this morning, I watched some of the students come by, and there was the head snap. And I thought originally, oh, they see something going on. It wasn't the head snap of something going on. It was that there was food. Minister, thank you very much. And adMare absolutely appreciates the strong support of the Government of Canada for Canada's entire life sciences ecosystem. As the Minister rightly noted, the investment Canada has made will significantly enhance adMare's ability to deliver on our three-part mission: building companies, building ecosystems, and building talent, as well as advance the ambitious goals set out in the biomanufacturing and life sciences strategy. COVID has been an historic force of change in so many ways, and we're just beginning to fully process the challenges it created, the lessons it taught, and the opportunities it has presented. It is a great privilege, however, for each of us to work in an industry that has played such an important role in fighting this pandemic. COVID has caused tectonic shifts across the life sciences landscape. Unparalleled public and public policy focus, historically rapid development of health innovations, record-level investment in Canada, and a reckoning around the value of domestic innovation capacity. Cette confluence de forces a créé non seulement une opportunité sans précédent, mais aussi un besoin crucial de développer l'industrie canadienne de sciences de la vie. Now more than ever, it is strikingly clear that a strong and sustainable domestic life sciences sector is indispensable to supplying innovation, driving economic recovery and growth. The federal government has recognized this indispensability, and I want to publicly thank Minister Champagne and his colleagues for their historic investment in Made in Canada innovation. One of the great privileges of my role leading a national organization is that I get to see firsthand the public policy impact of the Canadian life sciences sector from coast to coast to coast. And Minister, we have seen each other from coast to coast to coast. Through direct investments in strategically critical companies here, like Accelera, Stem Cell, and Precision Nanosystems, all, we're proud to say, partners of ours, and in the case of Precision, our first spin-off company, and others stretching all the way to BioVectra and PEI. And with those investments spanning the innovation continuum, from research to translation to commercialization, capital generation, clinical trials, biomanufacturing, and training. The breadth and depth of public policy support of the life science industry in Canada is transformative. Le gouvernement a montré à toutes les personnes présentes dans cette salle aujourd'hui, ainsi qu'à toutes les personnes de notre industrie qui nous regardent en mode virtuel, votre volonté de prendre des mesures décisives pour assurer notre avenir. Today, based on extraordinarily globally relevant science at Canada's academic and research institutions, and the investments by your government, we have an unprecedented opportunity. I need to recognize the tremendous contribution of the adMare team in seizing this opportunity, here in Vancouver, in Montreal, and soon in Toronto. This is an exceptional group of people, deeply committed to their purpose of building the Canadian life sciences ecosystem. As proud as I am of the adMarians, however, one organization or one team alone isn't going to make our industry a global leader. We all must work together. Working together with partners in government, academia, industry, and the investment community. If we focus on these three things, building companies, building ecosystems, and building talent, we will realize our vision of Canadian life sciences leading the world. Minister, merci encore, et merci tout le monde. Now, allow me to, you can clap, come on. Alan, the minister wants to clap. We all clap. Allow me now to welcome some colleagues to join Minister Champagne for a discussion about the future of Canada's life sciences and biomanufacturing sector. First, Mr. Tariq Benbow. In addition to having, I did that backwards, didn't it? Benbow. I asked carefully, and I still fouled it up. I'm sorry. In addition to having just completed his term as the president of the Student Biotechnology Network, Tariq is a PhD candidate here at UBC at the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences and a scientist at Amgen, British Columbia, where he's part of the the Biologics Discovery Group. And he dedicates what other time he might find to mentoring early career seekers in STEM. Welcome, Tariq. Please join us. Dr. Lana James is well known to us. She spent the last 4 years as a venture partner at adMare and now has transitioned full-time to take on the role of interim CEO of adMare Therapeutics. Launched by adMare in partnership with AbCellera and some of the country's most successful scientific entrepreneurs and investors, adMare is focused on radiopharmaceuticals, one of the most promising areas of drug development and one in which Canada has unique competitive advantages. Lana, please join us. And Dr. Sriram Subramaniam, founder and CEO of Gandiva Therapeutics, a rapidly growing precision biotechnology company harnessing the power of cryo-EM technology and machine learning to advance drug discovery and develop. Sriram is widely acknowledged as a global leader, and in addition to his role at Gandiva, he is the Gobind Khurana Canada Excellence Research Chair in Precision Cancer Drug Design and a professor in the Department of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology at UBC. Sriram. And Minister, maybe you join us as well. So, Lana, let me start with you. As someone who is leading a young company that's now rapidly scaling up, what do you see as Canada's big opportunity in the life sciences and biomanufacturing sectors? How do we take the strengths we have and what has been successful, what's been successfully built to date? How do we take that to the next level?
Great. Is this working? Great. So that's a great question. You know, I think that everyone here would agree that Canada is really poised to be a leader in life sciences and is recognized internationally as such. And we're really poised to be able to capitalize on that to really build global companies of importance in the life sciences area. And I think the example of adMare Therapeutics, which I'll tell you about for a short bit. Let me talk about radiotherapeutics. Tell you a little bit about why it's a great example of what the Canadian ecosystem is really poised to do. In 2018, Gordon had approached me and asked if I would come in and take a look at the radiotherapeutic space and advise adMare whether or not this was an area that we could really help build a company in. And so I sat down, did my work, and I came back and I said, you know what, this is the exact kind of opportunity that Canada is poised to have really a global impact on. And this is the type of company that we can really help build at adMare and in our ecosystem. And the reason for that was because Canada has long been recognized as being a real world leader in medical isotopes. Our colleagues Triumph and Triumph Innovations are just down the road, and we have a strong, for decades we've been known as being leaders in that space. Likewise, we have colleagues who are here in Vancouver, and we're well known in the biologic space as being an expert in antibody engineering and the like. And we said, you know, we can build and pull all of these together and really build an important company of scale that could develop novel therapies that could really have meaningful changes for, you know, hard to treat cancers. And so we set about and did our work and pulled our ecosystem together. And this is one of the three tenets of adMare, which is we build companies, we build ecosystems, and we build talent. And we leverage the talent that already existed at adMare. We brought in new talent through partnerships with AbCellera and others in the space. We leverage technology that we co-developed with UBC and BC Cancer Agency, and set about and really built an exciting company. And I'm really proud in 2021, early 2021, we launched that company along with adMare and AbCellera. And because of those relationships, we were able to hit the ground running and be generating data and driving innovation and building new therapeutics. And we found immediately we were able to attract interest from the Canadian venture capital community and beyond. So we were able to, money is the oxygen that drives innovation in these startup companies. And right now we've had a great first year and a half. And what we're focused on right now is scaling that company, creating new jobs, bringing in new talent, both new talent and some of the older talent who's in the community to help mentor that young talent, and really leveraging all of that. So I really think that Abdera Therapeutics, and it's been an honor to build that company over the past 4 years and to help lead it. And I think it's a great example of when we come together as an ecosystem, what we can do when we're all rowing in the same direction.
That's great. It is such a great example of the component parts, whether it's Triumph, other colleagues, scientists who've had a great deal of success, and investors. It's terrific. Well done. Thank you. Minister, maybe I'll turn to you and say, from your perspective, what makes Canada and Canadian life sciences and biomanufacturing stand out on the world stage?
Well, people like her. Actually, I'm not sure there's more to add. She said it all. We build talent, we build ecosystem, we build companies. I'm very proud to hear your story. And this is the reason why we invest in adMare. I mean, you see, when you invest in the ecosystem and you invest in people, great things happen. And I think this is a primary example. You talk about AbCellera, also a company which, as you know, we've invested significantly. I think, I would say, brand Canada is very powerful in the world. I mean, you're talking to someone who's been previously Foreign Affairs Minister, International Trade Minister. We stand for quality, we stand for traceability, reliability, innovation. I mean, the brand is very powerful. I was with some investors and some startup companies this week, as you would expect at Globe. And just the fact that they are Canadian is really helping in bringing market. Some people are telling me it's the best business card you can carry with the Canadian flag. So obviously, this is recognized. We started from a low base. I mean, historically, we were very strong. We had a period of probably, and you reminded me, Gordon, a number of times that we went to maybe a valley where we were not as we used to be for 20, 30 years. And I think in just a few months, we've been able to significantly rebuild and attract. I think now when you talk to the big companies and even startups, they realize that something is happening in Canada. They realize. If you look, just to give you a sense of perspective, at the beginning of COVID-19, Canada had the capacity to produce about 30 million vaccine in fill and finish. As we stand today, we're above 600 million. So the journey has been extraordinary. I mean, if you look, the Sriram Institute in India is $1 billion. We're not far from that. And with the additional investment, we'll probably be close to $1 billion that we could produce in Canada with a population of 38 million. So we can play a big role in global health. And that's what people see. And I must say with colleagues, one thing that we've been doing as government, and the world has recognized that. I can tell you, I spoke with, for example, the CEO of Moderna when we attracted them in Canada. Company that could go anywhere in the world, by the way. Every government would pay for everything to have this type of facility. And one thing he said why Canada was of interest to them as their expansion in the world. Now they've expanded in Australia. Canada will be second, probably, or third, but they're going to be in very few countries, apart from Switzerland and the United States. And he said Canada did not put any restriction on export. And that, for companies who want to play a global role in global health, obviously this was very attractive. He said Canada always remained open, and that's why I think I can tell you companies were calling us and say, we want to onshore in Canada because whatever may come next, we want to be able not to be constrained by restrictions that would prevent us from doing what we are meant to do, which is to help everyone. We've seen a lot of vaccine there was a nationalism around vaccines that companies were sometimes feeling uncomfortable about, and saying we want to be in a jurisdiction that will be welcoming and will be willing to play a role in global health. And I think Canada, in that sense, we go back to insulin when people in this country have made great stride. And I think when people are looking at the future and the talent and the ecosystem and the people in the room, just look at the people, the talent we have here at UBC in Vancouver, what we have across the nation. I think the investment we've seen in the last few months are just a testament. If people say, is Canada attractive? Well, go talk to Sanofi, go talk to Resilience, go talk to Moderna, go talk to Novavax. I mean, the list I could go on. BioVectra, just go PEI, you can say PNI, you can take up. So, I mean, the list is very long, and that's why we want to be there, and that's why what we do this morning with the people in the room. I mean, all of you could be in the stage this morning because all of you have contributed to what we're doing this morning. But I would say I think that we have, and you're a great example of what we could do. If we can just give a chance, great things happen, and you're a great example, like colleagues as well, and you're bringing the talent of tomorrow. So I'll leave it there. I've talked enough. Back to you, Gordon. Merci tout le monde.
Thank you. Tariq, let me turn to you. You're a few weeks younger than the rest of us. When you're mentoring people thinking about STEM, what do you tell them? What's your message for why this is the exciting industry of the future?
Absolutely. So first of all, Gordon, thank you for inviting me to be a part of this event. Truly a great opportunity to be here today. It's without a doubt that Canada's life sciences and biomanufacturing sector is experiencing rapid and exponential growth right now. And with that growth comes increased opportunities for career opportunities or for individuals looking to develop careers within the space. I would say it's a really exciting time to be within the field as a early scientist, as an early professional like myself, as we see an increase in the number of traditional career pathways in the field, as well as the emergence of newer non-traditional pathways that really makes it exciting for us as we move into a new era, I might say, for life sciences. There are three things that I would really want to say to my colleagues considering pursuing a career in life sciences and biomanufacturing currently. First of all, I would say to keep abreast of the latest technologies, the latest innovations, the latest techniques that goes into developing successful life sciences and biomanufacturing companies. I think the best way to do that is to be present and to keep your ear on the ground. And the industry is evolving, and so you need to also evolve at the same pace as the industry. The second piece of advice that I would say is, while there is sort of a period of development, so to speak, for the industry and academia, my peers should focus on developing the necessary partnerships. Partnership, I believe, is also a great thing that early career seekers should learn to develop from very early in their careers. It's never too early to start thinking about the necessary networking skills. And so finally, that would lead me to my third piece of advice, and that is, while there's no substitute for hard work, I think that hard work should be supplemented with, networking and partnerships. And so think about that. Learn how to do it as early as you can in your career, and I think that is what I would say to my colleagues today.
That is terrific. Absolutely. That is perfect. Thank you for that. And I want everyone to know that in 2 weeks, Tariq's defending his PhD, so he's hosting us all at the pub. Did you say which pub? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty prepared at this moment.
do you want to just give it a whirl now?
I'm sure probably most of the crowd would not understand my thesis.
I can promise you I won't. Thank you for that. Sriram, let me turn to you. You're somebody who chose Canada as a scientist, globally relevant, globally recognized. I'm not gilding the lily to say universities around the world fought over you to convince you to come there. First of all, why here? And second of all, what's the biggest challenge you found in getting a really compelling, new, novel technology from the academic environment to the commercial?
Thank you, Gordon. Many questions there, but first of all, let me congratulate you. I think we all share in the reflected glory of adMare with this investment, the biggest one, as you say. So I think it's really fantastic to be part of this community. I feel very fortunate that UBC would have me, but the circumstances were very special. I was looking to transition from being in the government. I worked with the National Institutes of Health for nearly 2 decades. Into translating what we did there into to industrialize the technology, to commercialize it, to essentially accelerate drug discovery. And I have to say, Santa Ono and the leadership at UBC, Dermot and others, they really saw the virtue of having both an academic basis to drive the research and to be able to build a company based on that. And it was the foundation of the funding from the Canada Excellence Research Chair Award that was then multiplied by the university, further multiplied by philanthropic donation, and then further multiplied when I launched Gandiva Therapeutics with private financing. We raised, a few months ago, we raised $40 million US in Series A financing. So this progressive multiplication, was the core of actually why we're able to do the work that we do. So that's at least one part, answer to one part of your question. In terms of looking to the challenges, both you and the minister touched on the importance of the ecosystem and the talent. But we mustn't forget it takes money, investment. And if you look at the numbers, in 2021, for instance, if the total investment in Canadian biotech startups in all of Canada was about $2 billion. If you look at the Bay Area, there was 7 times, 8 times as much investment. So if you just look at the numbers, that looks like we have some work to do, but investment in 2021 was significantly higher than what we saw in 2020, so there's growth. So those are both things to keep in mind. And I really think that if there's a strategic plan in place, 10 years, I'm not talking 1 or 2 years, but you look at 10 years, I would like nothing better than to see Vancouver replace the Bay Area as the most exciting biotech hub on the West Coast. I mean, I really see no reason.
That is perfect, and I think clearly shared by just about everybody in the room. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting us just have this dialogue. 3 terrific examples of why this is such a vibrant and exciting ecosystem. And interestingly, each person here, Minister included, but each of the representatives from the industry working across the country and around the world, even as they're working here in Vancouver. So I think that's really compelling examples of why this is such a vibrant and exciting space. So thank you all for the time. And I think now we're going to turn to some media availability.
I think so.
Are there any media representative in the room who would like to ask any questions?
I think it was clear enough. I mean, look, people are just smiling and smiling. It's the easiest press conference I would have done. People are happy, smiling. Good news for Vancouver, good news for UBC, good news for life science sector. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take the time to have coffee together. I'm saying that on behalf of UBC, obviously. And let's take the time to celebrate together. This is a great day for all of us. Merci tout le monde.